Alright guys, it's time for another Monday check-in. I do have a mask on me, but I'm not wearing it because it's just harder for you guys to actually, hear what I'm saying through a mask. So if I need to put it on, I have it available. But as you know, it's Monday, so it's time for another weigh-in check-in. So we're just going to go ahead and check that out. So here's the clip that I posted on Instagram. Alright friends, so it is a very, very rainy day. It is kind of really pouring down out there, which isn't an excuse not to do my check-in. So I'm doing my check-in on the levelest ground I could find. It's like a little alcove before you go into a bathroom. I don't have a pass to go in the bathroom, so we're going to do the weigh-in right here in the alcove because that should be relatively level. And so it's a good place to do the weigh-in. I actually have my scale. I also actually have a level I started using last week just to check and make sure I was weighing myself on as level of ground as possible. I really need some good news, so I'm hoping for good news this week, especially because it's been tough. I mean, some stuff done happened. And so it'd be good to have something to smile about by the end of the day. So let's do this. So, it's been a week. Had the van vandalized and someone decided to sideswipe the mirror off the side of my van. I really think it was an accident. I don't think it was targeted. But no matter what happens, it's check-in day. The day where I take a look at what I've done the past week towards the goal of weight loss. Unfortunately, I did get sick this week, and in the era of COVID, I didn't want to mention it as I didn't want huge amounts of people to worry that I was going to die. I was fine within 2 days, so I'm going to assume it wasn't COVID, and it was maybe even just stress. However, it did mean one day I completely skipped exercising, and I doubled up on Sunday because of it. Mickey also had a vet appointment this week. And luckily, that gets his kitten shots at an end. Since he's been declared a perfectly healthy cat, that means no more needed vet appointments until his general checkup next year. I still need to get him neutered and microchipped, but that's not a health concern, just something I need to get done. Basically, many things took time away from me this week, and that's the thing about a fitness journey. Sometimes the road won't go straight because something else in that road actually needs to take a higher priority than the weight loss journey. Sometimes it's priority 3 instead of priority 1, but as long as it doesn't fall off the list altogether, you can push it up higher next week. So the biggest hit I took this week was in steps. I'm averaging steps in the 5,000s. I made it to the 10,000 mark only once this week, and I think a lot of it is fear of leaving the van unattended for long stretches due to what's been happening this week. Also, because I now have Mickey, I really don't like the idea of being away from the van for long stretches in certain places. And if I'm going to do an exercise video with him safely inside the van, I'd rather be right next to it during the exercise. But before I had a pet, I happily dragged exercise equipment away from the van and would go into local parks to set it all up. As for walking with Mickey, who is leash trained, his idea of a walk is running around the same tree for an hour, so he's not really great for distance like a dog would be. And I've just accepted that his time out is his time out. It's not about me. He's not a good exercise companion. He's quite the opposite. That being said, I really think exercise videos save my life. Without them, I really think it would be very, very easy just to stay shut up in the van all day. They are the primary motivation I have to get out of the van and move that actually works and actually leads to me burning calories, of extra calories that is, every single day. Other things I like to do that are active, like a bike ride or a good hike, sometimes require time to drive to a hiking or biking location, and I just haven't had that kind of time lately. I really think it does not matter what you do as long as you do more than you were doing. And if I did not have these exercise videos marked on my calendar, I do think I'd struggle to just say walk absolutely nowhere on a busy street just to get a few steps in. Last week I mentioned Garmin Connect, the fitness app I use, has this thing called intensity minutes, and last week I more than doubled those minutes. This week, while I met the intensity minutes goal, I didn't really kill it, as it were. I really do like this feature though, as while steps are one of the easiest measures of movement in a week, when I'm laying on my back lifting weights, I am executing a lot of energy and moving and burning calories, but not walking necessarily. So there are a lot of calorie burning movements that might not necessarily be steps that are done in a day. And with the intensity minutes feature, it really gives you an idea of how much you're really exerting yourself during your daily activities, whether you meet your step goal or not. And it may even make me throw in extra work or intensity into my week because I want to meet that intensity minutes goal. And so I really like having this feature on Garmin. Since I've never had anything but Garmin fitness bands, I don't know if other exercise trackers have similar features. So, calories. Calories have been mostly staying within that 1800 marker I set for myself. While I would have liked to have lost more weight this week, for the amount of intensity minutes I put in each week, I think currently dropping my calorie goal any further might be a little risky. It would border too close to unhealthy at the activity level I'm trying to attain. And one of the largest catalysts for binging is undereating for weight loss. And I don't want to trigger any disordered eating. So I'm kind of struggling with that. Right now, I'm feeling pretty satisfied doing 2 meals a day with low calorie snacks allowed when desired, as long as they complement keeping me in a caloric deficit. My highest calories this week were on Sunday, where I got into the 1900s but didn't quite hit 2000. But 1800 has mostly held as a very good target. And even on a tough week like this one, I still came in at a loss, not having hit a lot of my other activity goals. Not a huge loss, but a loss is a loss. I am still struggling a bit to get my protein up, but I think it's just one of those things I will continuously work on as I continue to explore satisfying and healthy vegetarian snack and meal options that keeps me satiated while keeping me in my calorie range for weight loss. And while I have protein power to help supplement this situation, naturally occurring food sources are always better than supplements. So I want to continue to try to focus on improving those. And it's one thing to know what they are. It's another thing to figure out how to actually implement them into your daily meal creation so that it actually works. And so it's just a project, and I'm just handling it week by week, piece by piece. So as you saw, I actually did lose weight this week, and that's good. It was only 2 pounds, but that is actually, I'd like to remind everybody, that is actually within the recommended weight loss for a week. Yesterday, I lost a lot, so it didn't feel like a victory, just because I lost more last week, and it's always nice to post those big numbers. But 2 pounds is actually within the recommendation for weight loss by the Centers for Disease Control. They say 1 to 2 pounds a week. Actually, most people who lose at that rate have more sustained weight loss than people who actually do constantly post big numbers. I mean, minus interference surgery and things like that. Oddly enough, we were walking past what used to be my gym. This used to be my primary location for my gym membership, and I no longer have that gym membership. I have talked in scattered videos about how much I hate the gym. I actually
have just accepted that the gym is sort of not for me, and that was even before COVID kind of made that difficult to do anyway. So maybe I should talk a little bit about that. So obviously, one of the first things I did when, I became a van dweller was get a gym membership. Traffic's going to be a little loud, so I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to do this while I'm walking. But anyway, one of the first things I did was get a gym membership for all the obvious reasons. The big one being, sorry, I lost the camera there for a second. But the big one being, I got the gym membership because of showers. I mean, like, that's pretty much a common thing, is that, people who are in a situation where they don't have a shower will get a gym membership to an affordable gym and then use that as a way to do showers. And so, wow, the traffic's loud right now. And so I did the same thing. I went ahead and I got me a Planet Fitness membership, and so that I could have showers. And on a previous attempt to sort of get back on track with weight loss, you guys are just going to have to deal with a lot of weird lighting changes because of how I'm shooting this. But on a previous attempt to lose weight, I did go, let's go to Planet Fitness. We already have the membership. Let's talk to a trainer there and get a fitness plan, because you can do that for free just by having a membership. And so I did that. I went ahead and I went and talked to a trainer. He was a really nice guy. And he walked me through the machines and gave me a little introduction and gave me a little list that I could follow to start a training plan. And I tried, and I hated the gym. And some people think that's because, of course, fat girl was so intimidated to go to the gym, but it wasn't that. It was a lot of the same things I experienced before going to the gym, both in college and on other attempts to sort of use gyms I had access to for exercise. And that is, you go in with a plan, because previously, it's so loud, guys. But this is why people are like, why are you always sitting around in the van shooting? This is why, because it's loud on the street. But anyway, so it was a repeat of all the things that had made me frustrated with the gym before. And it wasn't that I was a fat girl exercising in the gym. I'm not going to say that never happened. I'm there on the treadmill doing my thing, and then Speedy Gonzalez gets on the treadmill beside me, and I'm like, let me just pump it up a little bit. But also I knew I wasn't going to match Speedy Gonzalez. That wasn't where I was physically. And I'm not sorry for the shaky cam, I'm not ultra competitive. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm the person who, when everybody's fussing over who won the game, I'm like, it's just a game. Let's all calm down. It's not that big a deal. I'm just not that competitive. So anyway, going back to starting to use the gym for exercise. So I'd had my list. I'd gone see the trainer, and was going through the machines as they were outlined in the list. And it would frustrate me when I went to machine 1 and I went to machine 2, and then machine 3 was occupied and there wasn't one I could use. Now somebody may be like, okay, we'll just change the order of the list, flip some things around and circle back to it. But I hated that. And I really hate it if it was the last thing you had to do and you're waiting for access to a piece of equipment. If it's the last thing on the list. Because the thing about me is I want to go in, I want to do my list, and I want to leave. I'm not there to socialize. I'm not there to dawdle. I'm not there to play around. I want to go in, I want to do it, I want to get out. And I know a lot of people, they don't mind breaking things up. I mean, one of the big recommendations for people sometimes is to break up their exercise if they're not used to moving. So instead of trying to make them do a half hour, they'll do 3 sections of 10 minutes, or a section of 20 and then a section of 10. And breaking things up this way allows you not have to go as long. And especially when you don't have a lot of endurance, this can be good, because you just can't, do it for a half hour or 45 minutes or however long. So if you break it up, you can do it for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes, or you can do it for another 10 minutes. But I am mostly not that person, especially when I know I couldn't go a straight half hour. The last thing I want to do is break it up. I want to go that straight half hour, and I'm just using half hour as an example, and then be done. And that's one of the reasons I like the exercise videos, is because you put them on, you do what's designated for that amount of time, you follow the trainer in the video, and then you're done. You're done for the day. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can check it off your list and call it done completely, entirely. There's no going back and forth. And so, like, I don't mind an organized experience in a gym environment. Like, if I was taking a class, a specific class, whatever it was, that was led by a trainer and it was a group of us, I wouldn't mind doing that. And in fact, Planet Fitness had those classes, and I tried signing up for a couple. I showed up and nobody else did, and it didn't start on time. And so that kind of destroyed the experience, because again, when I have something scheduled for 3:30, I want to start it at 3:30, finish it up in the amount of time that was allotted, and then move on with my day. And I'm just kind of like that about a lot of things. And so I can do that with my exercise videos. Besides the fact I'm doing videos I enjoy. For a lot of people I know, like, they say they feel a lot of peace when they're doing yoga. But when I'm lifting weights, I actually feel at peace. Because it is one of the few times where my head entirely clears and I'm not thinking about other things. When I do stretching routines, I don't know that I've ever done proper yoga, I am always thinking. But I find when I'm lifting weights, I am so concentrated on getting through the extra reps of lifting the amount of weight I'm lifting. I do feel it's one of the few times that my mind actually quiets. And I think one of the things about the gym experience being so disruptive, going from machine to machine, hoping nobody is on the machine you want next, is it's constantly disruptive. Whereas when I'm lifting weights with my own weights, it's not disruptive. It's straight through, and the only thing I'm thinking about is, can I lift this amount of weight? Should I be lifting more weight? And just the idea of getting through those reps and knowing when, I've reached my limit, or knowing I didn't push myself enough in the number of reps, et cetera, et cetera. I find I'm just thinking about the exercise. I'm not having my mind on 30 different things. And the same thing with the cardio videos that I do. Once I'm in it, I'm just in it, and I'm paying attention to the instructor, and I'm doing the thing, and I do it for a half hour, 45 minutes, however long it is, and I'm not thinking about anything else, and there's no disruptiveness to it. And the same thing, I think, if I took a class at a gym, obviously not in the land of COVID, because in the land of COVID, that's not really a thing. But I think if I took a class, and the class, started on time, and I got to, have some of that controlled social environment that I like. I don't mind it sounds really weird because most people, I guess, wouldn't want that. But it's something about the idea of a controlled social environment where the rules are clear, where we're there for something. I'm going to turn back around because I think traffic's going to get too loud if I go that way. And we're all there under the understanding of participating in this thing is more engaging for me. It's like when I used to have these friends for a short time, and we met every week to play cards. And I really liked that because there was already a parameter of something to do when we got there. Unlike when you go to a dance club, and that is very disorganized. Again, for people who don't know, I'm a stage manager. And the jokey thing about why my job, I think, fits me is because I like the idea of organizing things and I'd be that annoying person who would organize a clipboard for going to an amusement park to make sure you saw everything you wanted to see. I mean, I'm flexible enough to get off plan, but I like going into things with a plan and, you know, having sort of a roadmap to come back to when things go awry. And I think like an exercise class fills those parameters for me, whereas just blanket going to an open gym does not. I think watching exercise videos fills those parameters for me the way going to an open gym just does not. And so I never really found a fulfilling experience that I wanted to return to in the gym. Because even when there was a point where I took a lot of my machine exercises over to the free weights because it was easier to get to the free weights than to get on a lot of the machines because there was only a few of them. And so I hated that sort of interruptus to things. But even with that, sometimes that could be inconsistent and wasn't always true. I tried going late, but then I had a lot of jobs where that wasn't working out. And then it was like I still needed to get enough sleep to get up in the morning to like do what I needed to do. And so there were a lot of reasons why the gym just did not work out as like a positive experience for me and became a negative one really quickly. And the interesting thing was when I tried to do sort of the method with the gym, I lost pretty much no weight and quit within a couple of weeks. And I've been doing exercise videos for almost 8 months now, and I've gone down from 321 to 275. And so while I am still very much a big girl, I'm a much smaller girl than I was, 7-8 months ago. And so that's just going to be the positive I take with me. So yeah, that's how I'm going to sign off on this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next week.
So it's time for that obligatory reminder that I am at the behest of the YouTube algorithm. And YouTube algorithms want to know how much you like this video. So please don't leave without hitting that thumbs up or hit the thumbs down. It honestly doesn't matter. I just need interaction with the video. Leaving comments are useful, and watching videos all the way to the end is important, as it tells the algorithm that you are truly engaged and watching videos all the way through. As always, watching ads help as well. And before I sign off, I just want to thank all of my YouTube memberships and Patreon supporters. See you next time.